Hey, and welcome to this Money Monday edition of Liquid Lunch on Newsmax TV. The Dow is plummeting as we come into this noon hour here in New York City. You're watching Liquid Lunch on Newsmax TV as you do every day, noon to 2 Eastern. And today, Money Monday, your money and your portfolio in particular is under attack. Renewed fear, fright, and hysteria from the coronavirus is hitting the globe now. Big outbreaks in both South Korea, where they reported, I guess, a new 750 cases. And now it's even popping up in Italy and Iran, other places around. Flights are being canceled because of less travel expected. Oil prices have been rocked down 5% today. Lots and lots to talk about. You know what I usually say on these big days, when you have these big down days, if you've constructed your portfolio properly and you don't have concentrated positions, if you've invested for the long term, days like today, you take your hands off the wheel and sit back. But days like today are big. In the last few years, as the markets have been going up, the volatility has certainly been there in big one-day drops. And this is right up there with the top 10 drops, as you can see from the chart. We have up there Dow's biggest one-day point drops in the past 3 years. This is number 3 as we speak right now. The low of the day, 950. The high in the last 3 years, back in 2018, we were down 1175. And sometimes it's like when the market's down big like this, you got to put trust in your preparation for it. It's like when you're in the car. You got your seatbelt on, you got an airbag, you start sliding on some ice. Rather than jam on the brakes or spin the wheels and try to do something, sometimes you got to just sit back and let nature take its course. One thing that I've been talking about over and over again, I talked to my friend Todd Starnes, who covers the economy pretty darn well this morning, and he was saying that there are tremendous buying opportunities that could be born out of this. So sit back and relax, keep some cash on hand. It could go much lower. I don't really believe in the fear, fright, and hysteria in this stuff. Myself personally, I think it's overblown. I think over the next few months, you'll see it peter out and burn itself out like many plagues over the years. But the fear that it's stricken in the global markets is evident today. Stay prepared for anything. And also over the weekend, there was some news trickling out. It's really hard to get information out of China. Okay, because they just shut down the internet. They block people. They don't want the real news getting out there. But there are some, enterprising independent journalists and other who are there, and they're getting some stuff out of there. And there are reports now in some of the outer provinces. This wasn't from Wuhan, but people are showing up at the bank to get money. The bank is locked shut, and many of the people, they're not masked. They don't care about the corona. They want their money, and this is how it starts with the crumbling of an economy when there's a run on the bank. So we'll keep you posted on all that stuff because there's a lot to talk about today. I checked in with my guys over on the currency side of things. They say, the dollar, they're buying the dollar. Interest rates look like, if there's more fear, fright, and hysteria from this stuff, that, over in swap land where people trade interest rates, they're saying from Friday till today, the rate's down from 160 to about 145, which is a sign that they're buying into the fact that that July meeting there'll be a tax cut. So more pressure on the Fed chairman to maybe cut some rates here. We'll keep you posted on all that. Checked in with a bunch of equity guys, particularly my buddies over at First New York, and today they're watching what happens. But equities could tend to surge after this, and there'll be some tremendous buying opportunities out there. And with the markets burning today, Bernie Sanders continues the slow burn throughout the country as Bernie now becomes the first presidential primary candidate to win, both parties, to win the first 3 events that they pulled off. Iowa, he won by a hair. New Hampshire, he won. And Nevada now, he won, it looks like, while people, the judges challenging the results. No surprise there. Bernie looks like he's got about 45 to 47%, so a clear win. And from what I understand, Buttigieg campaign is trying to say that there were irregularities and they may have been closer or even beaten Joe Biden. That'll be a bad sign for Joe Biden. But They were feeling the burn in Nevada, that's for sure, after Bernie was confirmed as the winner, and he had lots to say.
All of you know we won the popular vote in Iowa. We won the New Hampshire primary. And according to 3 networks in the AP, we have now won the Nevada caucus. No campaign has a grassroots movement like we do, which is another reason why we're going to win this election.
So Bernie certainly gaining momentum, and Joe Biden still flailing behind this. Saying South Carolina is the big firewall. He's got to have a big showing. He's got to come in first. As I mentioned last week, some big money New York folks who were kind of pre-committed to the last fundraiser say if he doesn't finish second in Nevada and win South Carolina, the money train's going to be over. So we'll keep you posted on that. I may even try to get myself down to South Carolina to see what's happening there. But I love Trump's alternative strategy. This guy, Brad Pascal, who's running his campaign and his social media, fantastic. They're holding these big rallies. They're registering people. And every time there's big news on the primary side, Trump's making just as much news. And when kind of at this point, he's dismissed Mike Bloomberg a little bit, says the worst debate performance ever. And, you know, he's the first guy to lose $350 million in Vegas in one night. But still, at a recent rally, you can't write it any better than this. We don't even need writers for this guy because he's so good. But now he's taking aim at the other billionaire in the race, Tom Steyer.
That time, yeah, he said Tom Steyer. Tom said, Mr. Impeachment, how did that work out, Tom? Thank you very much for the great poll numbers between him and Nervous Nancy. How did that work out? This schmuck spends $250 million. He ends up with 1/3% in Iowa, but maybe, that could be rigged because they still don't have any idea what he got. Maybe he won Iowa, they took it away from him. No, but he was substantially below. It said, all I know, it said 1% and an arrow left. So he spends $250 million, Tom Steyer. Never heard of this guy. Who is he? Where did he get his money? Who is he? You know, he was in the coal business. Did you know that? This guy, this phony, is a big environmentalist. He made his money, a lot of it, in the coal business. Nobody knows that, but he's a fake. Remember when he walked up to Bernie the other day? Hi, Bernie. Hi. Oh, and he was having a fight with Pocahontas, right? Is this the greatest? Mark Burnett said this is the greatest reality show in history.
You know, I sit back, I watch this stuff, I'm thinking how I could edit it, make it a little more entertaining. That's raw, uncut, unplugged President Trump. And, sometimes they say, well, he punches down. Why does he tweet this? Why does he say that? Perfect strategy here. Let's get another guy who's blowing money. This guy Steyer spent, hundreds of millions of dollars to try to have Trump impeached. Now he's spending more and more millions and millions and millions, just all negative attacks on Trump, trying to portray himself as some kind of environmentalist, saying that he's for reparation. Anything you could say to try to get a few votes. And as Trump said, he got 1/3 of 1%. But Trump is not done with you until you're dead. And it looks like, while he's taking a few minutes off Mini Mike Bloomberg, he's also turning his attention to Tom Steyer. The world's attention is on the markets. Dow down 800, down as much as 950 this morning in the territory. Only the third largest down day in the last 3 years. So we're keeping our eye very close on that. But it continues to be these conversations about the coronavirus. We're going to have Dr. Jeanette Neshwant, a family and an emergency physician. She's going to be here. She's our expert on the corona. Give us an update on what these new numbers mean. 750 new cases in South Korea. And even, I hate to say it, but 150 cases in my nation of origin, Italy, where apparently 12 provinces have put in travel restrictions. They don't want the people traveling outside those provinces. In, yes, Italy, which is scary for me, but still I think it'll be fine. Speaking of Italy, Rome, as you know, the home of the Pope. And this weekend I got really lucky because a good friend of mine where I went to high school Monsignor Farrell High School. I can't tell you the greatness of a Catholic Christian education, but our former principal and friend, Monsignor Whalen, was named bishop, and we were there to celebrate it with all the men from many of the years at Farrell. We wish him the best of luck. And, you know, you become a bishop, it's big, because you're bishop, you go to cardinal, and then you could be pope. So God bless Bishop Whalen and all the Lions of Monsignor Farrell. And, you know, I got lucky enough to talk to the bishop a little bit and talk about my faith. He wouldn't forgive me. I'm kidding. It was not a confession night, but we had a great night. But when all's said and done, when the party's over, you know where JT wants to wind up, with the most important people in the house, the sisters. Okay? And those ladies were there, and they've spent probably most of them between 40 and 50 years educating Catholic and Christian students across New York and across the country, many of them. And it was a real honor to spend some time with them and talk about faith and family and the importance of all that stuff. So God bless the sisters, and God bless the bishop. God bless you for being with us today. A lot of big news today with the markets and the coronavirus. Manny Alejandro and Josh Kravitz are going to be here a little later on to mix it up on the news of the day and all that great stuff. Dr. Robbie Ludwig, Fernando Uribe, Lauren Conlin, and more will be here on this Money Monday edition. We'll keep you posted on the market and your portfolio right after this.